Hey guys, Liz here bringing you another video. Welcome back to another episode of League Discussion. I enjoy doing these. I know they're never the most viewed videos, but I personally enjoy just talking about League, and this is also why, and I'm going to say it again to remind myself and to remind you guys, it's why I actually am looking to potentially do a podcast when I get back from vacation. And try to set it up, properly, have proper overlays that, people, if I have multiple people on, each of us have a different box. I think I actually might go for it, and we'll see how that goes. Obviously, I've got a lot of people that I can invite to them, other YouTubers, maybe some pros, maybe even some Riot employees, so I might try and do that down the line, and maybe League Discussion will just turn into that. But we're doing one today. Because again, whenever things, I will say, get a bit tense and a bit like, oh my god, with League, sometimes, League's a very intense game, you just want to chill, and today is one of those days. So I just thought answering questions and kind of creating discussion, allowing you guys to put your voice in the comments, is always really good. And I actually will say the point, if you guys remember the other day, I did that survey video, I did get a little nod from a couple people going, hey, that was actually really good advice, and sometimes we need to hear that. And they also were looking in the comments. So just thought I'd say that, because trust me, Riot, of all times that Riot are paying attention to the community, to comment sections, to Reddit posts, to their boards, is right now. I'm going to tell you that right now. So yeah. So I did a tweet basically saying, does anybody have any topics? And I also did a Discord post. So what we're going to do, we're going to just go through a couple of them and just see what people are thinking. Now, the first one is a rather controversial one, because I've always found there is the argument is people either be completely for them or they'll be completely against them, and that is permabanning in League of Legends. The reason why this topic is coming up now is Riot is testing reverting people permabans on North America. They're choosing North America as the test server. If it's, successful, then they will open it up to other servers from my knowledge. And it's, the discussion about it. Why do I think they're doing it? Do I think it's a good idea? Do I think it's a bad idea? And then you guys can let me know. And again, this is a topic that I think a lot of people are going to have opinions about. So, first, I think setting the precedent of, do I think permabans are a good or a bad thing in general? Yeah, I do. I don't think they're a negative thing for the community. Obviously, they're a negative thing if you yourself get permabanned. But there is pretty much always a reason for it. And I know, every now and then someone will slip through and there's a mistake. But I've always seen, it does happen that those decisions get overturned. And I'll say, if you are one of those people that you think you have been wrongly permabanned, and again, only if you 100% think, because majority of the people that get permabanned, they know they're toxic and they know they deserve it, but they're just trying to create a mess and they're just trying to get their account unbanned. But if you genuinely are a person, it's like, no, something has happened, I'm not toxic, I didn't do anything wrong. The best way, and it's very unlikely, make a Reddit post. Again, I normally wouldn't advise that, because obviously Riot have their own boards, but if your post gets through the front page of Reddit and you can provide evidence behind you not being that way, yeah, you'll most likely get unbanned, because it's too many eyes on that specific story that Riot just couldn't ignore it from then on. And obviously the likely chance of you getting a post to the front page is very low. Don't spam. My advice would be once a week, just do a post about it. And again, it could take several months, and hell, you may never get it back. That's the point of a permaban until now. But yeah, no, I'm fine with permabans. I've never met somebody who got a permaban and didn't deserve it. So I'm fine with them in general. Why do I think Riot is testing this out? Basic principle is they're losing players. I've been saying this for weeks and months. Riot has lost players since the recent decisions that they are making. They are doing more stuff to introduce to new players. Even myself was involved with that, being in a campaign with Minilad and Calux, two massive YouTubers, get their audiences to come to League. It's what it's all about, and also because people have left because of the decisions Riot has made recently, the meta. A lot of people hate the Season 9 changes, which is another topic we'll talk about here. But if they're like, okay, so the people that are permabanned, let's unban them, let's see if they're still toxic, and if they're not, hey, we get some of our players back. That's why they're doing it. Do I think I like it? Do I think I don't? Okay, so, do I think it's a good idea? The answer to that is a mixed bag. I don't think we can just blanketly say it's a great idea or it's a terrible idea, because I think it's going to be on a case-on-case basis. Do I think the majority of those players are still going to be negative to the community? Yes. What I would hope, and I will say I haven't personally read through everything in this whole, world. I just know it's happening. But what I would actually think and want is that these accounts just have chat restriction basically for ages. Like, okay, we're unbanning your permanently banned account, but for the rest of Season 8, you've got chat restriction. Or something like that. Like, I hope they don't, just unban them and just release them wild. So yeah, I'm kind of hoping that's the case. But yeah, and then do I think it's a bad idea? Well, it's the opposite of that. Is I do think a vast majority of those players are still going to be toxic, are still going to be a negative influence. Whether they got permaban for being toxic, whether they got permaban for scripting, boosting, whatever they may have got permaban for, I don't think a lot of those people learn their lesson. Personally, again, you may be someone watching this video, and this is where you can say in the comments, oh, I got permabanned and I'm a lot better. I just needed that, fifth warning or whatever it is to change my ways. Because again, remember, getting permabanned, unless it's something very serious, it's a ladder or progression of like warnings and then bans. So first you get warned, then you get like a 2-day ban, then you get like a week or a 14-day ban, and then you get a permaban. You work your way up. So it's not somebody like, just getting permabanned instantly unless they do something that is really bad, like threatening someone's life, being incredibly racist and they get caught out on it. I think scripting might be a permaban instantly, which I do agree with. So yeah, like that's basically it. So I am actually here on the Reddit post that a Riot called Riot Wookie Cookie, what a name, he basically is just asking, because again, people being people, that this was announced, and now people in Europe who have been permabanned are being toxic to Riot, going, hey, why aren't we being permabanned? And his words are, we're running an experiment to see if people can grow and change for the better. Again, I do agree with that they want to do that, but I do think a lot of this is to do with getting players back as well. We're excited to see how this could affect all players, but because of the high risk that comes from with these kind of exercise, we're only doing it on NA players right now. No players should be getting their hopes up very high that we will allow permaban players to return to the game and continue their old ways. So if you're toxic, they're not letting you come back and just continue being toxic. You've actually got to... I hate the word because it's been warped, but you've got to reform. And again, the reason why I hate the word reform is because it's become a joke in League of Legends. Anybody that says they've reformed in League, they haven't. It's the joke of, I'm still really toxic, I just don't say it anymore, or whatever. Oh, I got caught out, and it's basically like a dog with a muzzle on. That's why I don't like the word reform in League. Then he goes, players who receive any sort of penalty after returning will be re-banned permanently. So if you get unpermanently banned and you just one offense, like any type of offense, it doesn't have to be like something crazy, just something toxic, and you get like reported a lot, you'll just be permabanned instantly. No warnings this time, which again I agree with. At this point, we're not sure that letting players return to the game after a permaban is the best course of action, and it may decide to keep our current stance of permabans accounts. But we're very eager to see. So again, this message to me is that they are basically, and this is where I can kind of maybe like go into it a bit more, is that even in this message, they're saying, we don't think this is a good idea, because if they thought it was a good idea, they would just say it's a good idea, but they're like, we don't know if this is a good idea. They don't. They're doing it to try and get players back. That, to me, is number one of why they're doing it. So, yeah, again, I'm not incredibly annoyed by it. It's just depending of, like, if these players are a negative impact on the community again. We all, I imagine, have our frustrations with the report system in League. That, you get a toxic person, and like, we've had some incredibly even racist people in videos of like, people typing stuff in videos, and I've had people, like a week later going, cuz I got offended by what that guy said, I looked up his account, he's still playing, and that was in a YouTube video, you reported him, I'm sure other people report him, and he's still playing. It's like, the report system sucks. It just doesn't really work. So if these permabanned players are allowed back, are they gonna have a different report system? Are they going to be watched even closer? Like, I don't know how that's going to work, because if it's the current report system, well, these permabanned people could just go for another couple months being toxic, and then they go, oh damn, he's been toxic for 2 months since we've unbanned him, let's ban him again. But that's not really ideal. So anyway, I'd be really interested to see what you guys think. Do you think it's a good idea, them unbanning permabanned people? Do you think it's a bad idea? yeah, just express your opinion. Again, if you are somebody that's got permabanned, again, I don't really sympathize, but, you know, what do you think? Like, if you are somebody that got permabanned, do you want your, you know, permabanned account to be back? Again, I will say one argument I haven't mentioned. There is a big argument with the permabanned community. That is a really misinformed argument. That they basically, and I've actually seen several times, that a permabanned player has threatened to take Riot to court, going, you know, I've spent money on that account, it's mine, you can't just deny access. The problem with that argument is that it's just, you know, if you read the terms of service in League of Legends, you know, that whole argument disappears in about 30 seconds. When you make a account on League of Legends, you know that little checkbox that says I agree to the terms of service? If you actually read through that, it actually states within the first probably few lines that the property of the account is not yours, it's Riot Games. So you, like all of us, right now watching this video, you do not own your League of Legends account. And that is why it's also illegal to sell League of Legends accounts, because you're selling property that actually isn't yours. Illegally. Like, Riot legally could take you to court if you sell your League of Legends account. I don't think they'll ever do that to an individual, but they could do that to websites, and I think they have. And that's why they could do it to scripting websites, because it's tampering with property that's not theirs. But that's the general premise, is your League of Legends account is owned by Riot. And any property that is on that account is you have basically, in principle, you are given a license to it for use. And the expiry date of these accounts is something like year 3000 or something silly, but they have the right to revoke access at any time. So as soon as you sign up to a League of Legends account, you don't own your account. You have no legal standpoint or anything to any type of action Riot does on your account. So that's just something to note. And again, by the way, that's the same with every single type of video game that is digital. A digital video game you do not own. You have a license that you own. If you owned the video game and you were like, I own Red Dead Redemption, if you legally had that right, well, then you could legally change the game in any way you want. You could legally sell it yourself. That's not how it works. When they sell you a copy of a video game, and again, I did a video game degree, so I know this type of thing. You are having a license, nothing more. It's the right to use, not the right to anything else. But there we go. Anyway, that's that. Next, we're going to talk about the recent announcement that came out from Riot Stat Magic. Again, the really wonderful guy that I spoke to a few months ago now about Season 9 Ranked. And the recent announcement that they are at least delaying role Ranked. And this, to me, was music to my ears. So, you know, let's just fully go through it, because, again, I've been kept in the loop probably a bit more than other people. Even other YouTubers I probably know more about this than them at the moment. Basically, when I had that meeting with him, and we agreed that majority of the changes that they were proposing was liked. You know, the splitting into 3 splits. I thought that was fine. The placement games that you know where you're going to get ranked at minimum after the first game. Thought that was fine. Other stuff. 2 new divisions. You know, one I think is below diamond and one might be around silver or something. I thought that was fine. You know, plenty of stuff. The one thing that a big chunk of the community hated was the role ranked idea. They didn't expect that, like I mentioned in that video. They did not expect like the backlash that they received, and I don't think they weren't fully prepared for it, because they just didn't expect it. And basically now the announcement's come out saying we basically have a massive group of people that we know they're not going to like it, and we're going to just put it on the back burner, try to make it a bit better, but then basically bring it in for testing in certain regions. And it will not come into the game at least until 2019, if at all. So basically, if you break down, and again, I read all the article. They even went. I would say props to his team, because him and a couple people in his team went in the Reddit thread of that and were talking to people, explaining stuff. And the basic principle is that there is at least, and I think the number that they used was at least 10% of the ranked player base, and I think it is more than that. But at least 10% of the ranked player base has shown really big hate towards this system. And if 10% of the ranked base system hates the system, it ain't happening. Because basically the current system works for everybody. Nobody quits League because of the current system, because that's what it's always been. if they're implementing a new system and 10%, even just 10% of the ranked community quit League because of this new system, it's not worth doing. Hell, it's probably not even worth doing if 5% do it, quit the game. So that's basically the hiccup that they're on. So what they want to do, and again, the data that they have is people will like it if they actually have it. So they are going to go on regions, and I'm going to guess they're going to go on less populated regions like Turkey, Russia, Australia. I think they're going to go on those servers and implement it there and see what the reaction is like. And if those servers hate it, let's be honest, they're a bit more casual servers, then yeah, North America would hate it, EU West would hate it, EU Northeast would hate it. That's just the way it's going to be. And my prediction is I don't think it's going to make it to League. If I had to predict. Unless Riot is going to just jam it down our throats like they did Dynamic Q, and we all know how that went last time, I don't think they're going to do it. I just don't think it's a good fit. Again, if this was what League of Legends was from Season 1, and that's what the community grew with, fair enough. It isn't. It's a brand new system. A lot of the community like to think that they're skillful in all areas equally, and they don't want to know individually. And it's just tedious. Like that's the thing that I said to him is like, if I want to get Diamond on a bunch of stuff and have good quality games, I have to play so much more League than I have to do now. Because like right now, my main account's in like Diamond 3, Diamond 4. If I want to play a top lane game, I can. If I can play a mid lane game, I can. And they feel relatively the same skill level because that's the way it is without me having to play any more games. In this current system, if I want to play a Diamond 3 top lane game, well, I've got to get my top lane rating to that level. And then I've got to get my mid lane if I want to have that level. And then my AD is like, it's just so tedious. I personally think it's not going to make it through. And again, I don't think it's going to make it through into Season 9. But like I've said in the past, is Riot... I still, to this day, believe that Riot really wanted Dynamic Q to work. And this is, I think it potentially is another instance that Riot thinks that this is good for the game. Again, I don't agree. But this could be like, oh, we're going to push it back until Season 10. We're going to give you guys a whole season to prepare your minds that this is happening next season. That possibly could happen. So, yeah, again, I'm just not a massive fan of it to begin with. Just, again, the type of player I am, everybody knows my stance of one-tricking, and this system, to me, just promotes one-tricking the most that it ever could. Like, if you ever one-trick described a system that is perfect for a one-trick, you are describing role ranked. Basically. Like, I just dislike that in general. But yeah, again, that's the announcement, is that they're putting it in delay, they're going to test it on a few servers, they're going to test it in normal games as well. Which obviously we won't really be able to see the difference because we don't see the rating in normal games, only Riot does. But I personally don't think it's going to make it into ranked. So, yeah. Final discussion for this episode of League Discussion, if we go into... And I will also mention, you are probably going to get a bunch of League discussions over the next few days. Simple reason for it is, again, I'm preparing to go on vacation very soon, making a lot of videos in advance. And when you're making a lot of gameplay videos... Sometimes just doing League discussions is a little bit of a breather, is a little bit nice. So I'm not going to do like, we got a League discussion today. There won't be one tomorrow, but there may be one the day after as the second video. Like, we might alternate a little bit. Right, so the final one is someone saying should Riot bring changes to Twisted Tree Line to make it more playable? If so, what changes? I don't think so. And again, this may upset some people. And again, in the comment section, go for it. If you're a Twisted Tree Line player, sell Twisted Tree Line. Because the biggest reason I think that they are literally not going to pay any attention to that mode, Nexus Blitz. Nexus Blitz is really fun. It's brand new. It's in testing right now. We are also going to do a few more episodes on that, by the way. I think that's going to just replace Twisted Tree Line. Again, the only caveat to that is it depends if they're going to do a ranked mode for Nexus Blitz. Because there are people out there, again, there's not many, but there are people out there that are Challenger in rank 3s, and they only play rank 3s. Like, again, I have seen that if you get Challenger, if you're looking for equivalent in skills, at least how it is on EU West, if you're low Platinum, you can get Challenger in 3v3s. The reason why I know that is I have actually several people on my friends list who are Platinum in solo queue and Challenger in 3v3s, and I've even asked them the question, because there have been little times in my little career, if you will, that I was actually interested in 3v3s, so I just added the people who are at the top of the ladder, and some of them accepted, and then I asked questions, and yeah, they're like players for solo queue, but if you just play a lot of 3v3s, you can probably get Challenger. So the only caveat to that is those people that only play 3v3 ranked, they'll obviously feel abandoned if they discontinue Twisted Tree Line. But I do think Nexus Blitz is a better alternative. I think it's got more to it. It's more fun. It's got, like, you know, a little bit more kind of kooky elements. And it's not random because you get to pick your own champions. You get to pick team comps. So and obviously the only negative to it, if you are a 3v3 player, Nexus Blitz is a 5v5 mode. So you may need a couple more people to play with. But I can see that happening, that in maybe not in this next year, but in maybe a year's time, they announce that, okay, you know, Nexus Blitz, if it's a success, we're putting a ranked mode in for Nexus Blitz and we're discontinuing Twisted Tree Line. That would not surprise me one bit. It just seems it's a better version of what the same concept is. More casual, less intense, more based on just team fighting all the time. So I don't know. I can see that happening. But anyway, you guys will have to let me know if you're a Twisted Tree Line player. You know, why do you play that mode? Why would you want it to stay over Nexus Blitz? But anyway, that's going to be it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, a like on the video. You can leave more discussion topics down below. As I mentioned, I am going to be recording a bunch of these for when I'm on holiday. So yeah, feel free to leave topics. But really give your opinions about the stuff that we talked about today. Like, permabans, do you like them? Do you not like them? Are you okay with them unbanning permaban people? Next is the Season 9 rank changes. Do you like roll ranked? Are you happy that they're delaying it? Are you happy they're doing more testing? Do you think it's actually going to make it into the game? And then finally, Clash Blitz or Nexus Blitz versus Twisted Tree Line. You know, which one is really going to make it out on top? Or do you think they both can survive together? I personally don't think they can, but that's just me. But anyway, that's going to be it. Like, subscribe. See you guys next time.